Okay, at home, I never wash my hands if I piss, but I always wash my hands if I piss.
I wash my hands every time because I just get grossed
toilet
out.
paper, baby.
I'm not.
I go.
Do you not pull your penis out of your penis?
No, I mentally do it telekinetically.
Welcome back to episode 37
and
39. Christ almighty, we need to stop this.
39.
Everybody knows that Nick from the Rex is here.
Hey everybody.
This is my friend Nick, and Nick is here to be on the podcast. We're going to talk about Nick, and we're going to talk about tits.
Nick was in Rent.
No.
Nick didn't pay his rent this month, so.
Yeah, I definitely didn't pay rent this month.
How does it feel to be here, Nick?
It feels good. I'm homeless at the moment. It feels good. I've been
Wait, is that for real?
You're not homeless.
Yeah, well, no, I stay pretty nomadic, so I don't.
I'm
have
sorry
to,
I couldn't
pay
have
rent.
you.
Well,
Stay
no,
with
it's
me.
fine.
I was
asked
like,
him if I could
that'd
stay
be
with him.
so rad.
No, he told me, and he was like, dude, I don't want fucking Nick.
I
Yeah, I was
know.
like, Nick is
I
a
felt
piece
that.
of shit.
He actually didn't respond for like 2 days.
That's not true.
No, that's true.
Nick.
Alright, cut to a clip.
I told you, I was like, I specifically said, I'm going to talk to Sammy Joe and then let you know.
And then didn't tell me.
Because it was an immediate
And then you
no.
came and
No,
went back home, and he still, after you were already home, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm so. Oh, what the fuck, man? I thought we were going to hang out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been sober.
Son of a bitch.
No, yeah, I've been saying, it was all good. I had planned.
Good.
I've been staying with my manager in Thousand Oaks, but we, me and our guitarist Schmiz, we're both saying that because we don't have a place in LA while we're not on the road because we tour like.
Does your manager hate it, or is he like?
No, he's cool. He's
You have
fine.
a car?
We started the band at his house. Like
Oh, shit.
When we were first starting, we would like be there a lot because he was helping a lot.
How long ago was that? When did you first start?
November 2015.
Shit, specific.
Yeah.
What was
midnight?
At midnight. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into some fucking cool Nick, how he started the band, sexual things he did for money when he needed it before the band started taking off. Right
Half of
after
that's
this sponsorship.
So big thank you to our first sponsor of the podcast, Bespoke Post. They're awesome. Bespoke Post delivers a monthly themed box of awesome, full of goods, to upgrade your style, apartment, and life. They've got tons of different box themes, their style, grooming, cooking, drinking, or travel, among many others. Bespoke Post has new boxes every month that you're guaranteed to dig. So the cool thing about this subscription service is that there are no commitments. Bespoke Post lets you know which box they've picked out for you on the first of each month, and then you'll have 5 days to keep it, switch, or skip it. So there are a few perks that come from hosting a podcast. One of my favorites, obviously, is getting hooked up with a box of awesome from Bespoke Post every month. These guys are totally upgrading our style bit by bit. They're upgrading our apartment and our life one box at a time. It's kind of like a present for myself, to myself, every month. Now you can experience it too at boxofawesome.com. One of the boxes that we got had a really cool leather duffel bag. It was beautiful. It was gray. Had a really nice brown leather strap
the thing was
and
amazing.
latches on it.
There was a
we got
watch too that we really liked.
We got a watch.
I
We
wear
got a
that
really
from time to
cool
time.
magnetic hourglass that had the magnetized sand in it. We got this cool little shaving kit with like cool little silver grooming tools in it. So there's a whole plethora of things that they're going to give you.
You'll get things that you didn't even know you
10-cent
needed
word.
until you need it now. You got it.
And that's so fun because I love getting new little things. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
That you would have never bought for
Would
yourself.
have never bought or thought of this to even have. Now that I have it, I use it all the time. Bespoke Post scouts out quality and unique products from around the world, delivering them to you every month without high retail markups. To get started, visit boxofawesome.com and answer a few short questions that'll help them get a feel for the boxes that'll best go with your style. Whether you're in search of the perfect drink, a well-kept pad, or just setting in style, Bespoke Post helps you get there, improving your life one box at a time. Each box goes for under $50, but has more than $70 worth of unique gear waiting for you inside. Wow. On the first of each month, you'll receive an email with all your box details. You'll have 5 days to change colors or sizes or add extra goods to your box. And if you're not feeling that month's box, simply skip it. It's that easy. From barrel aging kits to limited edition cigars, weekender bags to classy DOP kits, Bespoke Post offers essential goods and guidance for the modern man. So, we got a special deal for you. To receive 20% off your first subscription box, go to boxofawesome.com and enter promo code PINE at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, promo code PINE for 20% off your first box. Bespoke Post. Themed boxes for guys who give a damn.
Give a damn.
And God damn it, I give a damn.
Cool. Thank you, Bespoke Post, for sponsoring Beyond the Pine. We appreciate and love you guys. Let's get back to all the rigmarole, all the nitty gritty. You know, this whole time.
Nick has been on tour, everyone. We're going to talk about Nick because he's got a lot of
segue.
cool fucking stories, man. So Nick just got back from tour. How'd it go?
Nick, you got your 2 minutes. Go.
Oh shit. Okay. Done. That was good.
You recorded your first album. So let's skip to like he, went through trials to get people, found the right guys.
Yeah.
Needed to record his first album. They don't got money. They're a starting band.
Yeah.
You just tell the whole story.
Are you from here? Are you?
No, I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Western New York, in a town called Wellsville, New York, which is the middle of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
It's like literally the middle of nowhere. It's just like
I'm East Coaster too, but the
Pupukaka
the-
nowhere.
The opposing
it's like 5.5 or 6 hours away
Boston.
from New York City, and hour and a half south of Buffalo. It's just
Boston
kind
as
of
well.
Boston, Canada.
Boston, Canada. Yeah.
No, so yeah, we started the band. It was like late 2015, November, December, and we didn't have any money when we started, obviously, as most bands don't. And we had a lot of like these songs I'd written, I had demos for them, and all the guys were working like part-time jobs or whatever it was just to get by, just to pay rent. I was doing like medical studies to pay rent and stuff.
Explain what medical
Wow,
studies
wow.
are for those of them that
Well,
don't know.
So they're like clinical trials. Basically, you go to a hospital and they test unapproved medication on you and they give you a check.
Oh wow.
So I had to stay. The first one I did, it was for schizophrenia, and I stayed in the hospital for like 8 days. And they gave me like, it was apparently the last trial before it was approved, so it was a really high dose.
Oh my God.
And I literally like lost my mind for a day.
Wait. It's for schizophrenia?
No, it's for
No, it's to
schizophrenia
induce it.
patients. Yeah.
Well, I was like, well, why would it? If it's for schizophrenia and you don't have it, like, would that fuck
Well,
you
because
up?
no, the point is that they want to test this medication on healthy individuals who don't have anything wrong with them,
Oh.
so that they can see how that drug, because you're the control.
I
And
guess
How
they
it'll
need to
affect-
know that.
How
The
it'll
drug-
affect somebody who doesn't.
Yeah, the drug is
Yeah.
the variable, and it, like, you introduce that into the bloodstream, then you see what happens in the process between when you took it and when it's out of your bloodstream.
And like if you're
But, like-
working on somebody who doesn't have schizophrenia, it'd be
You'll
like,
know
you're
the-
working with like a clean slate
know what
basically.
happens,
So
yeah.
yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, so you have to go through like all this testing before you can even get approved for the studies.
Damn.
So anyway, yeah, that was I
Wait,
did
what
one
did you
for-
experience when
so
you?
I took 2 pills. I like live tweeted the whole thing. It was such an experience. But I took 2 pills, and this dude AJ, who was sharing the room with me, he was doing it too. And he like takes his pills, and he goes, he's kind of a douche too. But he takes these. He's like, oh, it tastes like placebo, kind of sweet. I'm like, fuck you, AJ.
Oh, eat a
And
dick.
then and I take mine because they
His
do
was
give
poison.
placebo. They
His
do
were
give
rat
placebo
poison
to people.
pills.
But yeah, I took it, and then my whole body like tensed up, and my all of
After
my-
like a little while,
no, so I had to wake up at 8 a.m. and they gave me the pills, and then
a couple hours
I
later.
fell asleep. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. And then 10 a.m. I wake up, and every muscle in my body just like.
Dude, I
super
would
tense.
not have wanted to go to sleep and just know that I'd be waking up with whatever
I
effects.
didn't
this
know
might-
what was
You-
gonna happen. I didn't think anything was gonna happen. Like I
Really?
literally
Did
didn't
they
think
say nothing might happen?
No, yeah, they're like, well, we're gonna see the side effects. Like I just didn't expect an actual.
Did they tell you what the side effects could
No,
be?
they like
They
no.
don't know
I
at that
don't-
point,
I mean,
I
they kind of you do have to know what could happen, but that's all the way to the extent of you have to tell them. You have to say out loud, I know that I could die from doing this.
I
Like, you
was
have
just
to
about
say
to
that.
ask you,
Out
did you have to
loud.
sign
You have to
away?
So you
say-
sign a
you
waiver,
sign a
and
whole
so if you
waiver.
die,
Yeah, you
you
have to
die.
vocally say on recording, like, I know I could die from doing this.
so they're like, yeah. So the side effects are anywhere from nothing to death, and
Yeah.
every single thing in between.
Oh my God.
So yeah, but it was the only way that I was going to be able to wake up every day and work on music and not have to go sell fucking DirecTV at Costco. You know what I mean?
Wow,
Like, it was the
dude.
only way to be able to.
What did that pay?
So it pays really well actually, and a lot
would
of
hope
creatives.
so.
I think. I mean, I don't suggest people do it, but I also
No, fuck
don't
no.
not suggest it, because when you're first starting out, and as you guys know, when you're first, you just need time. Time
yeah.
is more valuable than anything.
Yeah.
And that was buying me time is all it
Mhm.
was doing. And so I mean, yeah, I was there for 8 days, and I think after like a bunch of follow-ups, it was like $3,000, $4 grand.
That'll fucking, and if you're living cheap, that'll be a
That was amazing.
long
Yeah,
time
that
to
was-
live off
yeah.
that shit.
And so during that time, I
Wow.
was like,
worth it. You're just like,
yeah, and that was to pay rent. And that was to pay rent. And that was to like buy. We need a van, we need a trailer, we need all these things. And
yeah.
so anyway, back to the recording studio. Basically, I get this Facebook message from a girl, and she's like, just a musician friend of mine. She goes, "Hey, I'm house sitting for this guy, and he's got a studio in his house. Do you want to come over and drink some wine, record a cover or
That's
something?"
so cool.
And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be fun." Like,
I bring
Cool.
the whole band and record the whole album.
so I go over there by myself, and I walk in, and it was not a studio in a guy's home. It was a separate building in his backyard that was like
A real
full
fucking studio.
drum
Yeah.
room, like everything that you could ever imagine. And I'd only stepped foot in like one other studio my whole life. I've always been producing on my laptop or like in my little home setup. So I'm just like, what? And I called my roommate Andrew, who's like our engineer, and he's our live sound guy. And but at the time he's just my roommate. And so I called him. I was like, dude, gather up the guys, get in Billy's truck, drive over here, and we're gonna record some music. And because I had the demos already done, we just didn't have any means to record them. Wow. So we go in, and we just like within an hour we're cutting drums for the EP.
Damn.
And that was like 3 days. Basically, I was like, how long do you have this for, right? She goes, okay, well he's gone for like 7 days, but I'm going to be using the studio these days, so you have these 3 days you can use it. I'll leave a key under the mat. You can only be here from 5 p.m. to like 9 a.m.
Dude.
because the ex-wife of the owner of the house comes to give the diabetic cat its shots.
So they don't
during
know.
the day.
They don't know that
Oh,
you're
no,
over
they
there.
still don't know.
Yeah.
You're just like making gold in their backyard.
And we couldn't like get caught by the ex-wife who was like helping the cat and shit. So we just we would go in and it would be nighttime, daytime when we showed up, and daytime again the next day when we left.
Damn.
And we didn't know what we were doing. I
I mean, you have your
consider myself
engineer and someone probably setting up all the equipment, so you're like,
Yeah.
at least this is gonna record,
Right, it'll
and we're gonna have
record.
someone to make it sound fucking okay.
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
I just took
Instrument.
producer role. I was like, okay, I'll produce and he'll engineer and you guys play the parts and we'll do it. And we didn't know what we were doing. We were just a bunch of like 19, 20-year-olds in a studio that we shouldn't have been in. And we did it in 3 days. And then again, didn't know how to mix music or master music, but we kind of did. So we spent like months just watching YouTube tutorials and learning how to create a song and get it to sound like the songs that I like. And it took forever. The song sounded so bad for so long, but with enough fixing and working and figuring and learning, we literally just put it out that way. And
But do you
that's
remember
still-
how what happened at the end of your recording
Oh my
session?
God,
This is
yeah.
the best fucking part.
Yeah,
of the
so
whole thing.
we leave the third day, right? So the girl calls me, like we're just kind of doing like we're just doing like some touch-ups, like all the recording.
last day.
And
by
the
the
girl who let us in calls me, and she's like, "Yo, you guys have to get out of there. The ex-wife is on her way to the place. Like,
Oh, shit.
you guys again aren't supposed to be like, get out of there." So we're like, shit, there's Domino's boxes and wine glasses, and we're like, fuck. So we're like cleaning everything up, and we bolt, and we I swear like a movie, dude. We pull out with the truck and go around the corner, and she pulls into the driveway. We see her pulling in, we're like, yeah, we're home
Holy
free. And
shit.
we get back, and then Andrew, our engineer, was like, hey, so you guys know how we had to leave in like a jiff, right? And we're like, yeah. He's like, well, the whole EP is on his computer
In
still.
the fucking
Fuck.
locked. Well, the keys.
And that was our
underneath
last day. Like he was supposed to come back in a few days or whatever, and she was gonna be staying there. So we're like, we're fucked. Like that's it. Like all that work for nothing. Like, and so he, 2 nights later, like a black ops mission. Like I just picture him in like the dark. Like he goes in like 2 a.m, goes around the side gate, and like keys still on the mat, sneaks in, and the ex-wife was home, but he sneaks into the back building where the studio was. And like, just in the dark with like plugs the external in, like vape in hand, just watches, just watches the transfer.
the- Literally.
Computer screen on it, but face yourself on
He's like, yeah, this.
I can like hear the music.
Literally.
Gip.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's complete.
It is complete.
I am so excited.
And then he
about
came
that.
back and he just had it like fist in the air, like I got it. And we're like, yeah. And then we
Headshot.
started the edit.
The ex-wife.
A fucking
She
shotgun.
followed
It's
him all
the
the way back
cat.
to the house.
She walks in.
Game over, man.
And so you guys
That is
fucking got it.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Medical
so-
studies to save up for money.
So that was
Fucking
Breaking and
sneaks
entering.
in an
that
EP.
was, well, because that was, and then that EP that we put out, it was our first 3 songs. Those were the only 3 songs we had out for up until this past March. Like we literally, like our biggest single, like Favorite Liar, that
They
was
all
like,
popped off. Like
that was the
that's
song.
what set them off was the work they put in, the
that's still our
shenanigans
biggest
they had
song.
to do.
That's fucking legendary.
Yeah, so from there was the just playing live shows and doing stuff.
So then we were doing like local LA gigs. We weren't really building a fan base because we just were playing like pay
Like,
to
how
play
do
shows
you-
and
yeah.
shit shows. And then we played with a band that we're on the same management with called Nothing But Thieves.
I've heard of
from
them.
the UK. Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. So
Wow.
we opened for them at the Troubadour, and it's kind of a favor to our management because we're on the same management. They're like, hey, will you let them open? They're like, yeah, they're good. For sure. So we played that show, and at that show, like a bunch of stuff happened. There was like people in the industry there, like that were helping us in this way, and then everyone wanted to like work with our band, and then, but most importantly, in the green room after the show, Nothing But Thieves was like, hey, do you guys want to come on our first full U.S. tour?
Damn.
And we're like, we didn't have a van, we didn't have merch, we didn't have a trailer. I'm like, yep.
Yeah,
Did,
yeah,
another,
dude.
did another medical study,
You
bought
say
all the
yes.
stuff,
You
and then
say
we
yes.
went, yeah.
Dude, that is
And then we've been
fucking
touring
awesome.
like and putting on like pretty much since like it's been a full-time thing.
So how did
Crazy.
man? That's incredible. That's
it
really
was
cool.
wild.
What a fucking
It was really
hero
quick.
story, right? Holy shit.
to hero.
That's just like pure fucking determination.
and luck is luck and determination and hard work, but
right place,
I
right
think,
time,
luck
connections.
is just it's preparing yourself for when the opportunity comes.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you guys were fucking ready. You know.
I think I've always said that like you have to work to be successful. You have to work really, really hard, but luck has to help you too.
Yes.
But like that luck won't help you unless there's that foundation of hard work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow,
and,
man.
and being ready to like seize an opportunity when
Yeah.
it presents itself.
Yeah.
Because like you could have easily,
Been like, oh no.
like if given it a second thought in your head, we don't have a bus merch or whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, man, maybe next time. that would have been
Right.
Which what I've seen
Yeah.
bands do, and I've seen like up because our manager, I'm very close with our management. They're working with new bands all the time, developing bands, and you see that happen. They don't take those opportunities, or they don't, and it's just like, what are you
like
doing?
say yes and make it fucking work.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there's a fear of success too. I think a lot of people have.
Oh, yeah,
I
definitely.
do. I like whenever there's like something like, hey, this could be cool. My first thought is like, how do we get out of this? Just because there's some kind of like, I don't know. It's
No, I
tension.
definitely feel you on
It's
that.
like your whole life could shift depending on like what you accept a lot of the time.
Really? Like you're actually afraid of? Do you think it's actually the fear of success, or more fear of like failure of opening yourself up and putting yourself in that position? Because like I don't
It's-
think I've ever been
yeah.
afraid of success.
I think it's just
chase
like
it.
it's referred to as fear of success, but it's
Yeah.
mostly like it's fear
your
of
mind just
change.
instantly goes like, oh, there's this, I can't do this.
It's
because of this,
fear
and
of the
blah, blah, blah.
future and change.
Well, like with success, and especially in like our arena, like music or entertainment and stuff like that, success comes with notoriety or public, view and like stuff like that. So there's that level of like, if I do this and it's successful and I am now known for doing this, then I can't go back ever. Not saying that you'd want to, but just not having the option to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
the call of the void. It's like you're afraid of what you don't understand, but like there is that like lean towards it. But like I think the fear of the unknown is kind of what that all boils down to. It's like I don't know what's going to happen. It could be great. It could be miserable. Everything could change, and that's the scarier part. It's just like that's not going to be the same.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm
Dude.
used to the
You're
same.
fired, actually.
I think the combat to
This
that
isn't working
is
out for me.
change.
the combat for me for that is maybe half part naivety, and half part like trusting that no matter what happens, you're gonna look out for yourself, or like you trust yourself to
be
like,
okay.
navigate out of it, or like, all right, if this happens, then fine, I'll pivot and do this instead, like overcoming that adversity no matter what happens.
Yeah.
More medical studies.
But again, naivety comes in play too. It's like, I don't know, like no matter what happens, it'll be fine. You know, like
That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
that's
I
You
feel
have
on
to. You
that,
got to take
yeah.
a leap, man. You have to.
yeah,
Everything.
that's so interesting, dude. How did you get into music in general? Like as a kid, were you really musical?
Kinda. Like my grandma got me into like piano lessons when I was really little, but I didn't really get like super obsessed with it and connected until I was like 14.
Was there like a band that like you're like,
So like,
oh my god?
It was like pop punk bands. It was like there was like MySpace was right at its end, but it was still kind of going, and so I liked that whole scene a lot. It was like it was. I mean, even bands like Mayday Parade or The Main or All Time Low.
Love the Main.
And,
Yes.
and it's so funny because like then years later, like we toured the summer with All Time Low, and then we just got off
That's
tour with The Main.
fucking-
Dude, that's
I
fucking-
And I get to
love All
show
Time
them
That's
like,
crazy.
dude, look at this cover of me when I'm 15.
Dude.
It's so fun.
And they're like, oh, yuck. Dude, fired from the tour.
Yeah, right.
tour.
Fired. Duh.
They always like
dumbass.
it's always like exactly what you'd expect. It's just like when you show them, there's like, dude, man, that's so cool. And
That's-
that happened actually a
that's
third
fucking
time
amazing, dude.
with New Politics. We just toured with New Politics,
Nice.
and
was that
I
who
was
we
in-
saw when we San
Yes.
Jonah?
I
Yeah.
just got into them. They're fucking great.
Oh, they're great. Yeah. They so I was really into 21 Pilots like
Oh,
like,
yeah,
when
dude.
they were when they were first starting. Well, when they first started touring, like their first tour. And New Politics opened for one of those tours in like 2012, and I like waited in line and went and bought merch and like took a photo with them, and we like
Cool.
like recreated the photo, obviously, like
Yeah,
during the tour.
that's
It was just
crazy.
so funny to
That's amazing.
I like
man.
I had to each of those 3 tours I had to wait for the right moment in the tour where like I'm close enough with them and it'll be hilarious to show them the photo.
Totally.
And yeah, it's just cool when those weird full circle moments
Yeah.
happen. But
Mhm.
and then obviously as I got older, that music scene kind of shifted, and then I shifted somewhere else, and now I'm a lot more into like a lot more music. I was kind of only into pop punk at the time, and now it's pop or country or indie rock or alt rock or
And
whatever.
you guys are
maybe.
signed to a Warner.
Sony.
Sony.
Sony. Yeah.
Sony
Oh
Red.
wow.
Sony Red. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what's next? Do you feel like weird that this is kind of that you've gotten here, or is there like a next step for you, or like
Oh no, it's
what's
like
the dream next?
well, so you're always. I mean, as you guys know, you're always working on the next thing,
Yeah.
and even if to the public, like this is where you're at, you're already 4 steps ahead of that, or
Yeah.
you're like working on something. Especially because we write so often that we just put out an EP in April, or March or April. I can't remember honestly, but
James Dean.
but we already have like 30 to 40 songs for our album that we want to do. So that's what
Fuck
we're doing
yeah.
this summer. Is
Wow.
I'm
Make
going to be
'em all. Release 'em
producing
all.
some of them.
40-song album.
It's
Yeah.
got 3 sides on the record.
And
That's
each
what I
side
want to
has
do.
double side.
I would love to do like
Oh, that'd be
I
fucking
want to put out
crazy.
everything. Obviously, that's not smart to do, but I would love to
let the
literally
label
put out
choose
everything.
like their
Well,
top-
no,
top 10?
we just have to. I mean, that's,
Do they let you pick or do they choose?
It's a collaborative process, but
Oh.
we have us and our management mostly decide.
That's really fucking cool. Normally the labels will be like, these songs are good, and then I'm between these, you can choose those.
Well, usually everyone's on the same page because like
Really?
the people who are in those conversations are A&R. They're people who have they know a good song when they hear it. So like usually you're all on the same page. There's like sometimes there'll be like 3 or 4 songs on an album that like the label management and the band can't agree on, but it's usually not like one of the top 5 songs. That's usually like album
Like
tracks.
the top 5 and then the rest are like B-side.
Usually, yeah. And then once you have them all recorded, that's when the arguments about like what the first single is, what the second single is, and it's just a whole mess.
Do you write for that? Do you write for like how it's going to be, like what might be like the hit, or is it?
No, I just go into every song. I mean, so some bands have like this theory about like concept albums. They want it to be a journey through it. For me, in this point of my life, I just want every song to be as good as it can,
Like
as its own individual thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's like the key. Like I've thought about that too. Like every song you make, I think it shouldn't like go to the next one or anything like that, or have, like you said, any story. It's like each song should be like a single packaged into an album.
Yeah.
Because that's how the whole album, every song's fucking good. If you're trying to make singles, every song's good.
Yeah, if you want to make a concept album, do that as like your 4th
Yeah, I mean,
album.
when you're huge and you have like an audience
if you
to
want,
do
exactly.
that.
If you want to do something that's like a story, or like have songs that like the end goes directly into the next one or something.
Yeah,
like
Yeah, but
right.
if you're
Don't
trying
do
to
that right
if
away.
you're trying to elevate
Yeah.
your career, like you need to sacrifice a little and make hits. And you're not really sacrificing, but making hits. You're making great fucking songs.
It's
You're
like
just
it's a
you're,
weird
you're
perception.
dimming some of the artistic side, but you're also not only artistic in the sense of like you don't get to be like, I want to do like a slow song next.
Well, that's
and
the
then,
thing. Like every artist and like every band wants something different, usually out of their music, and a lot of bands get caught up in like their image, which is good a lot of times. But I think that some bands get too afraid of like, oh, we've got to be cool because other bands need to think we're cool. That's such a self-doubt thing in the music industry about like what other bands think.
Yeah.
and that sucks too because we talked about like bands.
Yeah.
Which like unless they change, like a band is like a band that musicians and other bands go,
You watch it, you go,
they're
"Damn,
so
that's
fucking
sick."
good, dude. Those guys are great. They look cool. Music's fucking incredible, but they never make it.
Yeah, or
they
like, the
they stay
crowd's
at this
not
like
really-
this popular indie where
Yeah.
they never get to
Yeah.
like mainstream because they're not playing the game. And that's what I mean by
Yeah,
playing a game.
exactly.
You're
They're
not,
not-
sacrificing by playing a game. Just
Yeah.
you have to be aware that there's music that can go be popular and there's music that can be like indie popular.
We were talking about this with bands like, I mean, Tor Miller is.
Tor Miller is exactly. I was just gonna bring up Tor Miller. He's he's done a little bit, but he's still not got a poppy enough sound where it will. And I don't mean poppy like Katy Perry. You can make rock songs that are poppy that sound
Yeah.
only like a rock song, but you know it's a hit and the whole world will love it.
It's like
Versus-
universal appeal.
Well,
It's like
some bands,
universal appeal,
some bands
exactly.
do that by accident too because they find their own thing and maybe not everyone likes it, but then they strike gold. They catch lightning in a bottle with one song and
Right.
it blows up, and
Yeah.
then then it doesn't happen again. Look at like that usually happens with like one hit wonders. Look at like Godier, like somebody that I used to know.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
were doing that sound already.
Didn't
It
they get
just
really
didn't-
bitter about the popularity of that one song?
I don't know, probably.
I had heard that there was some
Likely.
severe bitterness about that.
I think that's so fucking stupid. Just be grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
a
mean,
song goes
get
viral
it.
and you didn't mean it to go viral, don't hate it.
Yeah,
or like
I mean,
bitter
like,
they
because the
liked
other
it,
ones didn't
dude.
go.
I don't know that
viral.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I understand that, but at the same time, it's like just be stoked that now more people get to hear the songs that you wish were more popular. Now they are more
Yeah.
popular because
And
of the one song.
and that comes down to again like there's so many bands and there's so many musicians
Worried
and
about
they
the
all
image and
want
everything.
but they also all want something different out of music. So like if a band blows up and then they're like not happy about it because they had their thing, like I think it's kind of okay for them to be upset because not everybody should have to want
Yeah,
big
that's true.
success.
Yeah.
That is true.
Personally, I do. I want every
As
song. I want to
many
be on
people
the
to hear
radio. I
as
want
many of your songs as
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
I
So
hate that
I
that's
don't-
like the idea of
looked down
selling
upon,
out.
yeah.
It makes no sense
No,
to me.
I
that
just
that's a
want to
bad
write
thing.
songs that I really like that I think other people will think are cool and
Right.
like. But I also don't go into writing with a sense of like, oh, this has got to be good enough
This
for
is
radio.
for them. Yeah,
It's
okay.
more like, okay, I have to, because as soon
the
as you
best of
start
both
doing that,
worlds.
you write bad songs and
Yeah.
you write songs that are kind of corny, kind of too safe.
Sound
once
like
you
everybody
go,
else.
once you trust your pop sensibilities and your songwriting, and then go inside, that's when you create something interesting. That's
It's more so like making a song that you love and you're like, this is so great. I'm excited for people to hear it rather
Right.
than I hope people hear it.
Yeah,
Or like
right.
listen to it, you know?
Mhm.
and that's artistic integrity about like liking what you make and making it for you. And then if you also have popular taste, your taste for liking your songs is going to match the taste of the masses.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of songwriting comes down to, and production is taste. Like when you hear snare drum, you have to have the right taste to know like, yeah, that's
What? There's a fucking
one.
billion different snare drum samples you could use. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's about having I mean, taste I think is a talent. I see people with like our manager has taste. He can't pick up a guitar or play anything, but he knows when something clicks.
Yeah.
He's like, that's
Yeah.
a dope song, or like
Mhm.
this is cool about it. This is what's not.
Isn't that a
Yeah.
weird thing that
Yeah.
like the idea
You can't
of,
teach
like,
it. It's, you just have to have it.
Yeah, my manager's like that too. But like for acting, it's like weird.
Yeah.
It's funny to see his like catalog of people. It's like they're all a similar style of actor, I think, with this realism sort of situation. I've always wondered like, at what point do people decide what is good, and is it actually good, or is it just more the most people decide this is good, and that's what make good taste?
Just, there's no answer. There's no rules. It's just like,
yeah, it's so weird. That stuff is so fascinating to me. Well,
Speaking of fascinating,
it's fascinating. Hey, do you have a website?
Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this podcast, this mid-roll ad, baby. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you're in need of a domain, a website, or an online store, make it with Squarespace. Why don't you? Squarespace has an insanely beautiful design template. Their templates make creating a powerful online identity even easier. Each template is a starting point for a wide range of products, whether you're pursuing your side hustle or promoting your main gig. This year, they've got a new update where they have 8 new templates: Stella, Pursuit, Impact, Blend, Pedro, Royce, Kin, and Vow. And they're all amazing, and you need to check them out tonight.
Oh, wow.
It's totally an all-in-one platform. You can create a beautiful website with Squarespace. All in one, baby. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. They have award-winning 24/7 customer service. And let me tell you, I'm on the phone with those guys every day just to talk. It's simple to set up or transfer your current domain to Squarespace. And it's super simple and easy to transfer your domain to Squarespace. You can now transfer your third-party domains to Squarespace instead of working with multiple vendors to maintain your online presence. You're able to manage all of your domain and billing settings with Squarespace and take advantage of their easy-to-use DNS interface.
I did that actually. I've
done that too, literally.
I bought it from one thing, and I needed to move it to Squarespace because their interface is pretty dope, and it's like,
Because fuck Wix.
well, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was so mad with the other thing, and I was just like moving it over was. It's a crime that other websites aren't as easy. I'm not
Exactly.
even saying this because it's like a sponsor thing. Like, it's genuinely pretty sweet.
And it's super easy because you can switch from like GoDaddy or Wix to Squarespace
Yeah.
conveniently, baby.
Yeah, they take care of all your troubles.
It's never been easier to sell products or services online. Squarespace allows you to manage all of your products, orders, and inventory easily. Squarespace empowers millions of websites across thousands of different industries for people just like you. So go check out Squarespace. Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring and keeping us alive,
Thank
baby.
you.
Thank you.
Speaking of music, I know we've covered Nick's beautiful fucking story. If you guys are ever wanting to hear new music someday, I'm making music, and I know James is making music, and I know other James is making music.
and we're making music.
We've made
I don't
some
wanna-
music
yeah, I don't
already.
know. I don't wanna-
I'm so
Music,
fucking
man.
stoked.
Look, I don't really want to get involved with you,
I don't
bro.
want to say it too much already.
Let's fucking get it done, dude.
It
I've
was
showed
cool
these
as
guys.
shit, dude. That sounded fucking awesome. Did you
Thanks, man.
did you design the sound?
We made that song in a living room in our friend's
How long
living
were our
room.
sessions? It was like late at night. We would sit on his couch with his computer, his mixers.
Yeah,
his
we only
shit.
did 2 sessions, right?
Dude.
It was
Two-
only
yeah,
like
two
it was just a
sessions.
few hours, and we did the vibe of the like verse and intro, and then the second session we made the chorus, and it's dope. We got to write the rest of it. We got to
The
finish
BBs.
producing.
I
it.
can't wait. Yeah, we're gonna
It's
rework
cool.
some of
Can
the
we hang
lyrics.
out?
but-
I want to make some shit.
Yeah, dude,
I want to
please, let's do it.
understand the like mixing process and stuff.
Yeah, I barely understand it.
Dude, it's
okay,
literally-
so I'll always think this probably, but I'm just making it up as I go, and I think that most of us
I was
feel
gonna
that
say, I
way.
think
You
that's-
end
You
up
gotta
in
make
this
it
office
sound
by
good.
making
Yeah,
it up
yeah.
in your own. You know?
There's no
How
like
do you-
recipe for EQing and stuff like and mixing. It literally is like how it sounds and fucking with it and playing with it.
Yeah.
You definitely got to like learn what you're supposed to do with EQing, I think.
Yeah, I
and
think
where things
that-
are supposed to go. So you can try that first as like a basis, and then move shit around and EQ it and change it and fuck with like presettings and just fuck with things. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And then you'll be like, whoa. that
Yeah,
sounds
we
fucking
work with
cool.
like mixing engineers, and our engineer, like Andrew, who I was talking about earlier, he's really great with that stuff and the gain staging and compression and EQing. So I'll just focus on the creative side and making the vibe, and making the song, and picking the drum samples, and like this is what it should sound like. And then he'll sit down for an hour, and then I come back in. And I'm like, damn, this is so much bigger sounding.
Come
so much
back in an hour, he hasn't done shit.
jerking off on his computer.
Did y'all help with Cecilia? Was that the
Yeah, I produced that.
fucking great?
Steven.
That's why it sounds good.
It sounds amazing. Like
Yeah.
when I heard it, because Steve was like, "I'm writing a song. We're writing a song," and I was like, "Cool." You know, I didn't know what to
Yeah.
expect. I knew that you guys were great musicians and stuff, but I wasn't sure how. You know
What it
that
would sound like.
Yeah, yeah. And then I heard
Nick's
it.
a
and I was
musical
like,
savant, dude.
That's a real fucking song. Like it's a.
I told Steven, because I was like, yo, if you guys ever want like custom scoring in the episodes or whatever like that, like when I'm on the road, I can just make, it's really
Dude,
easy
yeah.
to make. So that's how it happened. And then he was like, hey, I'm actually working on this song, and he sent me the stems because he had written it all, and they had already recorded the vocals, and so all the parts were already there. I really didn't like add much I added like drums
you
and
creatively like massaged it.
yeah,
into
I
something
just
fucking
again the
cool.
EQing, and then he'll have a piano part, so maybe I'll recreate that same part with a better sound or something like that, and
Right.
put drums on it, and did all these backup vocals. And by the way,
between?
Oh
my god, it was so
Dude, that part was
funny.
so good. I was like, dude, because we were working on that. I was like, dude, what if we do? I FaceTime Kevin. I was like, yo, what if we do a key change? And he goes, dude, yes. And then I said, what if we do a second key change? And I was
so
like,
good.
but you can't
Like
hit
Love
it.
on
So
Top.
just scream. And then
Any
it was
musician would laugh so hard at that.
It was
two
so good.
fucking key changes. Do any songs ever do
Dude.
2 key
And
changes?
Have you
the
heard
big
Beyonce's
drums,
Love on
doom,
Top?
doom.
No.
She does like 9.
That's amazing.
What?
It's
Hell yeah.
fucking
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
By
Even
the end of it-
Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't do that many
No,
key changes.
dude, Beyonce is fucking crazy. Like I'm not a big on like the Queen Bey train, but like wow, that song is fucking incredible.
Well, she's so fucking good.
she's good,
Beyonce's
dude. Like say
unbelievable.
what you want, she's fucking amazing. And that song is, I think there's got to be like 6 or 7
I gotta
key
hear it.
changes.
That's nuts.
Cardi B's doing fucking key changes. Red bottom shoes. These are bloody.
These are bloody.
I just shit on her, but I fucking love Cardi B.
I haven't heard any of your. I need to just because you keep talking
She's
about
fun,
it.
man. She's just fun. She's got like a cool.
I make money move.
It's just she's just fun, you know.
What's like some trash that you guys are like you listen
dog
to,
trash?
but like you don't really like to listen to around people.
I don't care
It's
what
just
people.
sad music for me. I listen to a lot of like.
You mean like
stuff that
guilty
people-
pleasures?
Yeah, guilty
sort of.
pleasures.
I hate that phrase, but like just something because it's not like you're guilty listening to it, but just stuff that's
So
not
many
like,
different things. I listen to like so much different fucking music.
Anthony Lohan, he's someone who just didn't make it at all, and he's Canadian. And I saw him play at like a campground one time. And I was like, this is fucking beautiful, like August Rush beautiful, like
Wow.
holy fuck. And I checked him out, he's got like 28 views, and like it's definitely stuff that would never be popular, but it's so good, so fucking good. I'll show you guys afterwards. He's unbelievable.
There is this song that of all people, Rebecca Black did a cover of a John Bellion song.
Really?
With this guy. There was this guy
With
that was
John
with
Bellion.
No, with him. But
It's
she,
Friday,
she did-
Friday.
She's gotten much better. To her credit, she's gotten much better. But she did this overproduced cover of the song, and the guy that she was doing the duet with was unfucking believable. He was so good. He had the most beautiful.
Who was it by
voice.
chance?
I have no idea, and I could not find anything else.
Do you know
he's
what
done.
his ethnicity was? Was it a really popular?
I don't know.
Because there's
was
one
it a really
guy-
popular ethnicity?
There's this one guy who just dominates the cover world on YouTube, and I think he's like Spanish or something.
He looked. He
He's
definitely
like
didn't
he's
look
a little skinnier,
totally
and his
white.
voice is fucking phenomenal.
I'm not familiar with, but I looked for him and I found nothing. I was like, I was so bummed because that's one of the most beautiful. It was like a Broadway voice, but like
Wow.
really
Wow.
honed
and that
pop.
same day, he ruined his career by doing a song with
With
Rebecca
Rebecca
Black.
Black.
She's gotten a lot
I met her
better.
once.
She's got. Oh, is she cool?
I'm a
Yeah, I
big,
was-
I'm
I
a
was
big
at-
Patrice Wilson fan.
She was she
You know
didn't
who
give
that
a
is?
shit who I was because I just got lucky and got to go backstage when she was performing at like a playlist or something, and I
How'd she
checked out a
do?
picture with her. She's Rebecca Black. She did her.
I'm curious how she's doing.
It was back then. I mean, she didn't. I don't think she's like
She's in the glory.
a real big, like actually a big singer or anything. She's probably much better now, but she was like,
Yeah, she's
you
much
know what I mean?
better
She
now.
was. Daddy paid for her music back then, and it went viral.
Well, I'm wondering
Yeah.
like what that experience was because it was just like this huge overnight thing, but it wasn't necessarily positive. So like I don't know. I'm curious. Like
I'm sure it was difficult, and then later on, she learned to laugh at herself. I'm sure that's what happened.
yeah.
Like,
And
'cause
she probably got
well, How
better.
old was she? Probably 16 or
Yeah,
17 when it
she was
happened.
young.
So at the time,
Yeah.
I bet it was honestly really difficult.
it's cool that she kept
and
going.
weird because
Yeah,
she'd
especially-
get cool opportunities. Like she'd probably go on like the Today Show. I don't remember what,
But
I
it
know
wouldn't be to
it
be
was-
like, this is her amazing song. It's like, this is a stupid song that went viral.
Right. It was like,
Yeah.
how does it feel being the laughing stock of the
It's-
entire internet?
I like
It
my
feels-
song.
It feels great
Yeah.
because
She starts crying.
Yeah, she,
no, it's
Everything
great
hurts
because
all the time.
everybody was listening to me.
she's really kicked a lot of ass lately though. Like looking at
Really?
it, it's like man, she's gotten a whole lot better. It's
and
very-
she's probably self-aware about it.
Yeah,
now, you know what I
yeah.
mean? She's probably like, yeah, I know.
But I
gotta
hope she
be.
doesn't make songs now that are like, now they're supposed to be laughed at. You know what I mean? Because then that's just sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
I'm
she's
sure
just
she
dies
doesn't.
inside.
I think there was like one. I think she did like a sequel to Friday. It was like
Oh, it was
Saturday
called-
or
yeah.
something.
Oh, no.
But
It was bad,
She's
too.
gotten a lot better. Yeah, she's gotten a lot better though. So, but yeah,
Good,
what
good for
were
her.
guilty pleasures for you guys? What was?
I think mine are only when I like go back and listen to like my old pop punk playlists and stuff. That's when I'm like,
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like cool now.
I don't
though.
even
feel like
think-
listening to
yeah.
old pop
Oh,
punk
dude,
is like we
I
listened to the other
still-
day, and I like, you know when you listen to guilty pleasures, you feel a little like, oh, no one wants to hear this. But like when we listen to like pop punk stuff, we're like, this is
pop
kind of
punk
cool
is
again.
dope as
right.
shit,
It's
man.
kinda
Yeah.
fucking
Well, that's why
cool.
emo night became such a big
Yeah.
thing. Like that's
Mhm.
such
I love
a
that
huge
shit, man.
industry now.
I love that. I don't know if I
They're
listen to
popping up all
anything that's
over.
like that I feel guilty about.
Just that like, oh, Kib and Steve would laugh if they
Or
heard
like if
this.
somebody gets in the car, you're like, I'm gonna put on.
or
My
they just-
favorite
I mean,
song-
there's obviously stuff that I wouldn't want to play around certain people that I would only listen to by myself, like
my
Relapse.
favorite, my favorite song
Yeah.
right now is Celine Dion's "All by Myself."
Oh, didn't we do the thing?
Yep, that's still my favorite
Yeah,
song.
that Snapchat.
I'll show you guys later the last like the 2008 edit or whatever it is. They basically like take out the instruments in they like did this way later for some reason, but like 2008 they took out all the instruments in like the bridge when it first like comes in, and it's just a cappella, and she just kind of starts soft, and then she goes up way high and hits this insane note, holds it out super strong. You're like, oh my god, only Celine Dion could do that. And then this huge 80s drum fill comes in,
Yes.
and it lands huge on the chorus.
Yes.
And like we were like timing it up in the car, like and just trying to like play it.
Oh my
it's
God.
I got
Like that.
chills when I heard it, and I'd
Yeah.
never played
literally
that
gave
far
me
into the
chills, too.
song.
That's a beautiful song. Like
Yeah.
there's songs that have become jokes and stuff. Like what's that song? Oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. But there's like one song that everybody plays about.
Yeah, right.
That is a beautiful
Oh,
song.
it's amazing. Yeah.
That song is so fucking good, dude.
He's a singer.
It's unbelievable how it's frustrating that it's become like a joke. That's because like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll listen to it and be like, this is I
Yeah,
can't
you can't
laugh.
like you can't even listen to it in a normal sense anymore because that's
No.
all you think about now. Yeah.
yeah.
Luckily, no one's memed Shania Twain because that is not my
Yeah.
guilty pleasure. That's just
Did we
like
listen to that on
our
the tour bus?
throwback. Oh yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
He came on our tour bus and we just like blasted
Shania
Shania
Twain.
Twain for like an hour, like
That's good
10 of us
shit.
in the front lounge just jamming, like climbing on shit.
Mosh pitting.
Dude, I love
And then we played Cecilia, and he like performed. He's like standing on like the tables and shit.
Dude, I wish you could have been at the music video shoot.
great. Oh, yeah, I
you
just
were
missed it.
rocking it, man. It was
fun as
so
fuck.
Dude, I directed like 3 hours wearing the Amelia
So
wig and the
good.
dress.
No way.
He was
I wish we
Jesus
got more
Christ.
pictures.
I was like, okay, guys, so we're gonna just set up over here.
No one can take you serious. It's like exactly as I pictured it too. The part where you come in, like I was like, this is perfect.
I want
I love
you
that shit.
now.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I like literally laughed every single when I was editing it, because when you edit a song like a video, you watch it or listen to
Yeah.
it 1,000 times, and so
Yeah.
every single time that came out, I laughed.
It's a good song.
Every
like,
time.
we
it's
really good
a
song.
beautiful
Me and
song.
Mimi
I
are
honestly
constantly-
couldn't write that song. Like the chords that in that song are actually incredible,
And the melodies you love.
That's a really beautiful melody.
The one, yeah, that's amazing. I'm like,
Wait,
that's why I was like, I asked Steve, I was like, yo, can I sing on that part of the song? And he goes,
Did
yeah,
you?
totally. Yeah, so I sang the part that's like, what's the lyric?
The time we could be together.
But I sang it, but I wanted it to kind of, because I knew he would be singing it. In the
You matched
video,
my voice.
So I kind of went down. I was like, yeah, I kind of went down. I was like,
Just a little.
Maybe I love that. Like,
be together.
like I was just doing his
Hell
like
yeah.
low thing.
that's so
Fun as
cool.
fuck. I love that
That's
shit,
awesome.
dude.
Man.
We gotta do more.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that the other day. We want to do like at least one every
Yeah,
couple
I
months.
love doing like different genre pieces. Like we did just a couple friends. It was like a poppy, a little bit of like a summer like song, and then
But it's still a good
Sicily was like
song.
an 80s. Yeah,
Like, it doesn't
And
seem
then
like,
I
you know
want
when
to
you
do.
watch-
I really want to do like a fucking like early 2000s alternative,
Yeah.
like Blink 182 type. Like
Yes, dude.
Dude, I
would
probably
fucking
have instrumentals already for that. Just put
I'm
the
so
lyrics
fucking
over
down.
it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because
Because
like,
that's the only thing I feel confident singing. Like,
Yeah.
That's why I like doing hip hop, because
Yeah.
I don't have to sing on it. I do want to make my voice better if I can, but like doing that kind of like, where are you? Like shit like that's
Yeah.
so fun to do, but like I don't have to worry about it sounding like a good voice, you know?
And what I like too about what we try to do anyways, and I think we succeeded with Cecilia, is you don't listen to it and go, oh, this is, you know what I mean, like a parody. It doesn't sound like a parody. It sounds like a real song,
Right.
Yeah.
Which I love, and that's what I want to do with
Yeah.
all the shit that we make. Like you can actually listen to it as a real song, but also if you listen to it, like this is funny.
literally,
Yeah,
when I
like
got it, I was
Vicky.
like, holy shit! Like this is a great song. Like that's
Yeah.
why I was so excited about it. I was like, I FaceTimed me. I was like, dude, you wrote this?
We were
How the
like-
fuck did you write this? Like,
Me and Mimi were like singing it the day before the shoot, and I was just like, we can't sing it right
Right.
now because we're gonna hear it all day long
Yeah,
tomorrow.
right.
It's gonna be, but like by the end of like the next day afterwards, we were still singing it. It wasn't. I
It
wasn't
was
singing
catchy as fuck.
It's
We were
great.
all singing it for
It's
so long
great,
too.
dude.
It's great.
What advice, like if for songwriters out there, for people who are like just getting into it, do you have any like?
oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you get asked this kind of thing.
No,
all the time,
yeah, no. I mean, it depends. No matter where you're at in your stage, whether you're like just starting or like you're already established, like just write honestly, like work from inside and not try to like so many. Because again, like I work as a writer too for other bands and stuff like that, and just because I love writing, and so you get in these sessions with other writers and they're like, all right, what's the theme? Or they've got these notes on their phones of like funny one-liners, or like hooks or like taglines, and my advice would be like, you're gonna write your most original and cool creative content if you're just like if you just search inside yourself,
Yeah.
and when you're first starting, just make and make and make.
And you're gonna
and
feel
make
like it's
content.
garbage. Like there's two good pieces of advice. One of them, Ed Sheeran said, he's like, writing is like turning on an old rusty tap. The water comes out first and it's rusty and brown, and then eventually once it gets through, all that shit gets out, it runs clear.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
you
that's
said
what-
that?
And I said that. Ted Sheeran.
Ted Sheeran.
to Chat Sheeran. Chat Syrup. But like it really is like that, and that'll happen all the time. If you stop writing for a while, or even if you're writing every day, you will write and it will be sometimes garbage, and then it'll eventually get better. And then something that I found that worked for me with writing is like I would write from the soul, and then you'd read it and it'd be like, this is fucking cringy. Like there's shit in here that's way too lovey-dovey, but you can take that once it's done and once it's written,
though.
you can massage it. You can be like, that line is too cringy. How can I say that same thing differently? And sometimes it's as simple as like, say the end of the sentence first, because then it doesn't make sense when it's said, but the meaning is still there and you can understand it. Like that's an easy one. It's just like cut the fucking sentence in half and put the end first, and like then it just translates sometimes, and you can also just rewrite it and try to make it sound.
I would just
you can massage it. You can write it out, and if it's cringy, just massage it. You know what I mean?
And I would say like again, like I said, just make and make and make, but also just like do it, because there's a lot of fear in creating. There's a lot of like talking. I hate people who just talk about ideas that they're gonna do, but they never do them.
Fucking 7 great ideas, and I will not do them.
Like I have meetings with people, like lunch meetings with friends or something like that. Like, I'm working on this. I'm gonna do this and then, but nothing ever actually happens. Or like on their Instagram story in the studio, but then I watch the rest of their story, and then it's them playing with their dog, and then watching Netflix, and then watching. Like it's like, what did you do that day? Like just make, just do.
Yeah, I think it's also it's that fear of success thing we were talking about, but it's like the flip side of it. 'Cause it's like, well, what if I fail? And there's people get.
But you don't even have to. So here's my other quote: is like, I said this in an interview once, but I said like, I don't feel like I'm failing. If I just haven't succeeded yet. Like that's 100%. What my feeling is. Like no matter what happens, if our album flops, if none of the singles do well, that's
as long as you believe.
I haven't failed. I just haven't succeeded yet. I'm just not there yet. That's all it is.
Because to fail is literally to.
That's self. That's in your head.
Yeah, that's like
to you fail.
Maybe it doesn't hit, and then you stop, and that's failing. But it's like,
that's failing.
It's the same thing with like the ladder of success. Like you don't take one step and make it. You don't make one song and it's there and you've succeeded. You got to climb the fucking ladder, baby.
Yeah, or you can.
There's a million failures, and you can take a couple steps down, but like you just got to keep going until you get there. You will get there. You just have to keep going.
Or if it's bad,
you won't.
There's no such thing as getting there.
Yeah, but you're in the getting there.
No, you're totally right.
You're a working musician now, so you're there in the sense of when you were in your bedroom writing songs and you've never played a gig before, you're where you wanted to be when you were then. Now, obviously now you're still climbing the ladder, but you get to these check marks of like, I'm doing music for my job now, and that's like the there. And now you're up to. There's another ladder when you get up there.
The check marks is really important because again, it's any industry. Like all of this, everything I'm saying, and any bit of advice, like literally, it's for anyone working on anything, whether it be your job, trying to get a promotion, like whatever it is literally, you're like, again, you haven't failed, you just haven't succeeded yet, blah blah blah. But also like as you're succeeding, there's no you made it. Like right now, I'm doing exactly what I dreamed of doing when I was like 15, 16 years old, watching, writing songs and then watching YouTube videos of bands on tour and like watching interviews and being obsessed with it. Like, dude, this is I was dreamed of being on a tour bus. I dreamed of, touring with some of these bands, or like just even having a van and going to another city. Like I was from such a small town that there was no music scene. There's no one like even anewhere.
Just bars where it's old people that don't give a shit about what you're playing.
If I wanted to play a show, I had to I started by well, I'll just make this point after, but basically what I'm saying is you have to tell yourself like, okay, like celebrate the milestones. Like when you sell 100 records, like celebrate it. When you sell 5,000, celebrate it. When you get your first tour, celebrate it. When you sell 1 million records, celebrate it. Because I think it was John Mayer who said it, but he said like he when he sold like 5 million copies of one of his albums, he's just like, I didn't feel anything because I wasn't taking note of the success. He goes, I still feel like I'm not there. Like I haven't made it.
Like live in that time and be able to be like, wow, I'm here. And like,
or just celebrate each thing. Like every time
don't let that be like, I fucking made it, baby. Because then you're not going to strive for more. But just know like, and it like what we're doing right now is like show the contrast. Like think about the contrast of where you were and what you wanted, and either how close you are now and how much you've progressed, or like you're there or you're past where you wanted to when you were 15. You know what I mean? And like you're gonna have dreams now, and you're gonna have dreams then, and you're gonna have dreams when you get to where your current dream is. You're gonna always want more, and like that's good because it keeps you moving. It keeps you making and creating, and like.
But there isn't.
There's no final destination.
There's no finish line. Even if I want a Grammy, I'll want a second one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like life is all about the journey and the experience.
Exactly.
And everything. Because if you're there already, what does that mean? That you retire?
Right.
But then what's like the goal that you think you have in your head? And then like that's something to look forward to. But don't be like, man, I just wish I was there or whatever. Because then what else is there to experience? What else is there?
And one thing I hate about like, I every now and again I talk to my friend from school, and he's someone who's like really down on himself and like, I want to do this, like I can't do this. You know what I mean? Just like I can't do these things, and like you literally can do almost anything you want to do. And that's so easy because people stop there when they say, you can do anything you want to do. But that doesn't help you understand how you're able to do it.
You can.
What you do is like, okay, where am I now? What are the things that I have to do? Because all you have to do to get to where you want to be is do the things that it requires to get to that next step. And there's always things you just have to do to get to the next thing. So do those things. Just do the things you need to do to get where you want to be, and then you start getting there. And there's always going to be those things, but keep doing them.
When I was
just do them.
When I was a kid, I think I had a because I was just grew up in like a butt fuck nowhere town for a while. It was just like this idea of the media. I had that thought of like, there's one day people make it and they're there, and every success is just always, it's just money all the time and people loving them and like happiness and contentment and stuff. And I had that even when I first got into the industry. I was like, one day I'll make it and stuff. And then that's when I had that realization. I was very resistant to it. Like, there is no shelf that you land on or whatever. It was hard. And I think that I find myself getting defeated very easily with that kind of thing.
Even still?
Yes.
I have terrible
absolutely.
self-doubt. Like,
I have a
all
heart.
the time.
I am constantly I'm fighting the urge to be defeated by things. And I think at the same time, if you're struggling, for anyone who's like trying to get into something with media, if you're struggling to even start, even if you don't get all the way there, if you're not a huge success, just doing shit is successful. Like just trying is success. And that's something that I've had to learn is just do shit.
It's also tough to say, like, to understand that when you're not like there yet too, because you're like, well, like I did it, you know what I mean? I put out an album and I worked hard and I put all my money into it, and I didn't go to school for a year because I wanted to do that, and it flopped. And like, that's the thing, like you don't just do that and you make it. Like, you just have to keep doing, keep creating, keep going for it, and like you'll just. Now you put out an album. You didn't have an album last year.
And,
you know what I mean?
And that's
like,
the other thing too is it comes down to the definition of happiness, because there's not everybody's gonna make it. No, not everybody's gonna be able to do what they want as a career. Nobody's, like, most people actually. Almost everybody.
And that's so
Well, almost
shitty.
everybody.
And so there's also the self-realization of, like, you know, that everyone hits usually in like the late 20s or early 30s, where they're like, I've been trying bands my whole life and it's just not working. And then they go, you know, they falter off and they do something else. And that's just life. That's actually just real. Like, that does have to happen sometimes, and it sucks.
Well, there's nothing, but there's also nothing wrong with doing something.
Right. And so then, right, exactly. So then, you know, if you work that other job and you still have that like passion for music, like, you know, then you just have to ask yourself, like, why do I love it, and what do I want to do with this that's going to make me happy? Do I want to put out an album that no one's going to hear just because I want to make an album and give it to people? Fine. If you want to, you know, the only thing you can do is work fast and hard every single day, and then be patient for the success later. And if you do that, then you're setting yourself up for the best that you can possibly do, you know, hoping that luck comes in to take, you know, the percentage of it that luck has to take. But I mean, sometimes the best you can do is the best that you are. Like, that's all you all you can do.
And I think that there's work. You make it, but like you start getting there and start making it, or you don't. And the people that stop and don't, that's why there's so many people just do that and stop and go, it didn't work out. I did it for a couple years, it didn't work out, and then they fall off. And it's the people that stick with it and keep doing it and live and breathe it are the ones that usually make it. And there's still people that don't, you know what I mean? And they'll work their whole life and won't make it. Yeah. But like, I'm sure that person made it further than the person that did it for a year and stopped because it didn't work out for them.
And you know what?
And it's a harsh realization, but
absolutely. Never stop.
Yeah.
You guys know another thing you shouldn't stop doing?
It's a segue.
Brushing your teeth. So this is what it is, guys. The truth is, most of us are brushing our teeth wrong, not for long enough, and forget to change our brush on time. That's because most brands focus on selling flashy gimmicks rather than better brushing. But not Quip. So what makes Quip so different, you might ask? Well, allow James to tell you.
Okay.
Well, for starters, Quip is an electric toothbrush that's a fraction of the cost of bulkier brushes, while still packing just the right amount of vibrations to help clean your teeth. Quip's built-in timer helps you clean for the dentist recommended 2 minutes, with guiding pulses that remind you when to switch sides. Subscription plans from Quip are for your health, not just convenience. They deliver new brush heads on a dentist recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5, which includes free shipping worldwide. Quip also comes with a mount that suctions right to your mirror and unsticks to use as a cover for hygienic travel wherever you take your teeth, which is everywhere. And finally, everyone loves Quip. They were on Oprah's O List, named one of Time's best inventions, and is the first subscription electric toothbrush accepted by the American Dental Association. Plus, they're backed by a network of over 20,000 dentists and hygienists, and hundreds of thousands of happy brushers use Quip every day. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/pine right now, you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack, totally free, at getquip.com/pine. Spell it GETQUIP.com/pine.
P-I-N-E.
Thank you, Quip. I think a cool way to end this whole little shindig is our boy playing a song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Thank
you're
you
gonna play a
so
song.
much.
I
I'm gonna
can't
play a
wait.
song for you guys. Thank you so thank you so much, dude, for coming on the podcast such short notice. Texted him not a couple hours before the podcast.
Oh, I did, yeah.
And let's have us play a fucking song, yeah?
Yeah, I can.
We'll walk away, dude, and just let you jam out, all right?
Can I walk away to pee? I've been asked to play a tune. I didn't want to play a rec song. I wanted to do like a SP7 Beyond the Pine exclusive. So this is a song that may never get released ever. And it's very new. And I don't remember the words, so there's my phone. Do you remember we were sitting on the porch back at your place? You said your boyfriend would be getting home pretty soon. You said I'd better get going if I know what is best for me. But what's best for you? Yeah, maybe this is something we shouldn't have done in the first place. She looked at me and said, well, boy, I could have told you that. Then tell me, why is it so damn hard just to leave some days? Tell me why won't you stay? She's gonna raise her kids on the same street I grew up on. Dressed in white, they'll dance all night to our song. How am I gonna say this ain't just a mistake when every sign leads me back toward your door tonight? But in time, you'll see. Man, that should have been me. Man, that should have been me. Yeah. I remember when we hung out on my bed for our first date. We couldn't be seen out in public, so we made it work. I probably should have known better not to think she'd leave him one day. We said we'd make it work. Let's make it work. She's gonna raise her kids on the same street I grew up on. They'll dress in white and dance all night to our song. And how am I gonna say this ain't just a mistake when every memory leads back toward your door tonight? But in time, you'll see. That should have been me. I could have loved you better. I never had the chance to make up from the fights we never had. I guess I'm gonna miss every movie night we slept through, and how you bite your lip through every kiss I gave you. How am I gonna say this ain't just a mistake when every memory floods back into my head tonight? But in time, you'll see. So go and raise your kids on the same street I grew up on. Dress in white and dance all night to our song. And I'm just gonna say this is just a dumb mistake, 'cause every memory leads me back toward your door tonight. But in time, you'll see. Man, that should have been me. Man, that should have been me. Yeah. Man, that should have been me. Man, that should else we said.
Boy, he's all grown up.
Are you single?
Go check out the Rex.
I'm just saying, you stay away.
Hell yeah.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching this episode of Beyond the Pine. Thank you to Nick, our buddy and our guest. Thanks so much for playing.
Buddy and guest.
Thanks for
Thank you
playing
guys
with
for
us.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you
Guest
for coming.
No,
Seriously.
I'm a
Thank
huge
you,
fan
buddy.
of the show.
Third or fourth.
Thank you for doing
Yeah,
it.
I love what you guys do.
All right, well,
Go to
thank you for
bed.
joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We will see y'all next week.
And we'll have Nick on if you guys get us a million views.
Million views.
It'll probably
A billion
come back
views.
Smash that like button, dude.
All right, thanks again, man. That was seriously.
Fuck
that
yeah,
was-
dude.
Thank
I
you
love
guys.
that
Yeah, that
song.
was a good podcast.
For me,
It's painful for guys.
almost it's very painful for guys, especially the first time.
The
Because
very-
something
yeah.
There's a barrier within your penis. It's kind of like like a Camel Crush cigarette where it has a little thing in the tip.
Camel Crush. I love
The
that.
filter where you pop the little
It's
bubble.
glass and then you can eat it
Yeah,
afterwards.
it's kind of like that in your penis.
Did you guys fucking hate? Did you have that one guy in school that you hated that was way too all about having sex?